Okay, so I know there's like 1,000 t-shirt tutorials on YouTube. I've never come across one like this. There probably is, I've just never seen it. It's probably the easiest way I know how to turn a t-shirt into a halter top. So I'm gonna show you. And this is what it looks like. It's like this. It's a really fitted halter. I didn't put on a halter bra because I'm lazy, but these straps are my bra straps, not shirt straps. But yeah, so that's the shirt, and what you need is obviously a shirt that you want to cut up. You need a sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, don't even try to do this by hand. Good fabric scissors, a marker. I use white eyeliner because it always works better. Pins, and then optional is a seam ripper, elastic, and then you either need a shirt that fits you perfectly that isn't stretchy. You can't use a stretchy shirt as a template because when you put it on it will stretch to you. So if you just lay it down on the shirt, it'll be not your size, if that makes any sense. So you either need a shirt that fits you perfectly how you want this to fit you that is not stretchy. This one is stretchy, but I've already altered it to fit me perfectly, so I always go off this one as a template. If you don't have a shirt like that, measuring tape. The first thing you have to do, I got this shirt at Walmart after Halloween for like $2, just to make a video with it. But you need a shirt. If you've never done it before, I would suggest a shirt that's at least one size bigger than you, because it'll be a lot easier, and if you fuck up, you'll have more fabric allowance and whatever. This one's gigantic. I think it's like a 3X or something. But the first thing you're gonna do is take off the sleeves. I am crazy neurotic, so I use a seam ripper to take the sleeves off perfectly. You don't have to do that. You can just cut it right at the seam and it'll be just as good. So, I'm gonna rip my sleeves off and then I'll be back. My computer keeps fucking up really badly, so I keep having to redo all these parts, so this video is probably gonna come out like shit, but hopefully it won't. Okay, I have my sleeves off. You're gonna turn the shirt inside out, and the front part of the shirt you're gonna put facing down. So this right here on this seam, this is the seam that goes across the shoulder. Like this is the arm, this is the neck right here. You're gonna cut the front of that, the front of the seam, like towards the front of the shirt, so that you completely get rid of it and it won't be on the shirt at all. Two flaps of a shirt. This would be the back, and this is the front. So, now that you have that cut, take it and lay it out completely flat. And make sure the seams on the side line up. And then make sure your bottom seams are perfect, or else it'll be uneven and it'll look really janky. Okay. So like I said, I already filmed this, but the video fucked up, so I'm just gonna have to do it again. You have a template shirt. You take the shirt, and you're going to match up the armpit of the template shirt to the armpit of this shirt. So kind of just like if you made an invisible line right here, put it there. And since this shirt is so much bigger than the template shirt, you put down the template shirt directly in the center of the shirt. And you can do that just by matching up the tags on the back. It's the easiest way. So, lay it down. Make sure the seams on this one are perfectly straight as well. And then you're going to take your fabric marker, your eyeliner, whatever it is that you use, and just draw right along the template shirt. Make sure to leave yourself a little bit of a seam allowance, just in case you fuck up or, you know, whatever. So that's that. And you have it marked on both sides. If you don't have a template shirt and you have to measure, you're going to measure from armpit to armpit, just in the front, not all the way around, and then the smallest part of your waist, and then the biggest part of your hips where the shirt would hit you. And then for me, just for example, armpit to armpit I think is 16. So you would find the center of the shirt again, lay out your measuring tape, and just make a line at 16 inches. And then at the smallest part is 15, you would make a line there, and then at the very bottom of the shirt you would do the widest part. And then you just kind of make a line to match up all your marks. Once you do that, we're gonna start on, or actually, what's easiest? We're gonna pin it. That'll be easiest. So you take your pins, and again, make sure it's completely flat, and then just pin all the way down, like maybe like an inch away from your actual line that you already made. Okay, I have all my pins, and once you've done that, we're gonna deal with the top part and making the back of the halter. So from this point right here, where the top of your sleeve was, you're just gonna cut a straight line all the way across to the other side. And this doesn't have to be totally straight because you're gonna flip it under and sew it anyways. So just make sure you don't cut the front flap while you're doing this. So now we have the top. Alright, and what I like to do in the back is make like a pretty thick band that goes across the very top of the halter top. So a lot of this is going to get cut off, but basically this is what you're going to do. You're going to fold it over again, or you can cut it and just fold it once, whatever, and then fold it down until you hit that armpit mark right here where you cut it. And then what you would do is take your pins and pin this, just this one part, not to the front, just this back part. You're gonna pin this down so that you can stitch it on top and on bottom, and that way you have a band and it'll keep it tighter and more form-fitting. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up this back and pin it, and then I'll be back. Okay, I took off about another good 3 or 4 inches off of the back flap, and then I just folded it over twice and make sure it's perfectly straight because this is going to be the top of the halter in the back. So what I did is you pin the top not to the front of the shirt, or else, you know, you're not gonna be able to get into it. It'll be like a fucking pillowcase. And then put a pin through this top flap through both sides of the shirt so that it just stays perfectly in place. And then you're gonna go ahead, get your sewing machine, and sew from here to here, but only this back flap, not to the front of the shirt. And then once you get the top done, you're gonna take out these pins that are attaching it all together and then sew another seam across the bottom. So I'm gonna get my sewing machine and start doing that. Okay, so we have the front flap here and then the top of the back right here that I've already pinned. So we're gonna start right along the top and just sew a straight seam, and again, make sure you don't sew it to the front of the shirt.
Get this out of the way. I'm sorry, my autofocus really is annoying. But you're gonna take out all the pins that you had in the back. And then I'm just gonna pin it in the center to hold it together in a couple of places. And now at the bottom part of the flap on the back, you're gonna sew that piece down. Again, not sewing to the front of the shirt. So now you have the back. This is what it's gonna look like when you're actually wearing it. So you have a seam across the bottom and a seam across the top. Okay, now the back flap, I have it pinned down. And what you're gonna do is where you originally made that line right here, if you can see, you're just going to kind of continue that shape kind of out into the outside of the shirt, because that's where your armpit's gonna hit. Next is just sew all along your original template seam. Just do one stitch for now because you're going to try it on, make sure it fits. If it's fucked up, just rip the seam. So you don't want to do like a whole bunch of seams all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and just sew these up. Okay, so now that you've sewn the sides, you're going to want to put it on inside out. So it's going to look weird. You're going to have these like wings over here. But you just want to make sure that it fits you the way that you want it to fit. That the seam is where it should be, that it's as tight as it should be. It's a little loose at the top, so I think I'm going to go in a little bit more on the top. That's about it. You still have the flap up here. I just don't want to walk around with my tits out, so I tucked it under my bra, but you don't worry about that. So now that I tried it on, the top's a little bit saggy. I'm gonna go in and take that in. And then I'll be back to show you how to finish the front. I took the sides in a bit, and then once I got it to the perfect tightness around the top band, I just did another straight stitch all the way down and then back stitched it to make sure it doesn't unravel or anything. So once you've got your sides completely sewn, you're just gonna cut maybe like 1/2 inch away from your original template line, just in case it does, you know, rip or unravel or whatever. You can still go back and fix it and you'll have enough fabric left there. So just go ahead and cut that. Your shirt. It's still inside out. This is still your front right up here, but the bottom half is done. It's all sewn, fitted, good to go. So now for the front, what you're gonna do, hoping you can see all of this. Okay. So usually what I do first, before I figure out how I want the collar to be, I just kind of cut from this one end to the other end and just go underneath that natural collar line and then curve back up to that next point. So if you want it to go deeper, the easiest way to do it is to fold it in half so that you know it'll be even. So you got your shirt folded in half. And line up those edges. And then this part, you want to do really, really smooth cuts because you don't want it to be like jagged and janky looking. So you start up at that tip again. That is basically going to be the collar of the shirt for now. So once you have that done, try it on again. Make sure it's the neckline that you want, and then you can always go back and make it deeper, smoother, whatever the hell you want to do with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it on. Once you finally make your final cut, pull on the fabric where you cut it so that it'll kind of like roll over itself and it won't be just like a raw, choppy, gross looking edge. Okay, so now you do the straps, which are really, really easy. You take any of your scraps or like the arms that I cut off. You can always use those for your straps. So I'm just gonna use the side that I cut off because it's right in front of me. And I'm gonna cut off the bottom seam. And then do maybe like 1/2 inch strips. You're gonna pull them again, so they're gonna fold over on each other so they won't look that thick. You're gonna take a strap and you're just gonna pull it really, really tight. And if my shit will focus, there we go. You'll see that it just turns into like a little, like rope. Like a perfect rope. So to attach these, at the tip where you have your little point on the shirt, fucking focus, God. Okay, at the tip, you're gonna fold it down so that it's completely flat. Wait, do you see that? How it's flat? And then just for me, I'm just gonna double up on these. Like I said, you don't have to. You can do one or whatever the hell. You take the straps, you lay it right in the center, and then you fold over the sides of the shirt. And then you have what looks like this. Okay? And the straps are coming out right here. And then what you're gonna do is just run a quick stitch through here to hold it down, and then really, really reinforce it and put a whole bunch of stitches in it. That's just what I do personally, because my boobs are pretty heavy, so... And I've had one shirt snap on me when I was out at a store once. So, yeah. Basically just do that on both sides, and then you're pretty much done, really. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this, and then I'll be back with the finished shirt. Okay, so this is the finished product. If you don't like the way it puckers up in the front, you can always take it, you pinch it and fold it over and just put a quick tack in it, and that way it'll lay flat. Me, I really don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind it at all. But yeah, this is basically it. That's the back. Yeah, so hopefully you can make sense of this, because I really suck at giving directions. But so there you go. There's your t-shirt tutorial.